Compared to something like the Corolla, the Mazda 3 sales are a drop in the bucket. But this is still Mazda's best-selling sedan, and the second best-selling model overall. 2018 doesn't bring any major changes, but all the trim levels do see some added standard equipment. This review will cover all those differences and talk about all three trim levels. Mazda has positioned the 3 as one of the sportiest and most upscale offerings in the class. So let's go ahead and see if you should pick this over the Corolla, Civic, and countless others. We would like to specially thank Paul Miller Mazda for inviting us out to come and film this review. If you would like to find out more information about their dealership and massive inventory of new Mazdas, then check the video description for both their physical and web addresses. Just like every Mazda, you get this skinny key fob, but intelligent entry comes on Touring and above. Before we check out the stylish cabin, let's first check under the hood. For 2018, there aren't any changes to what's under the hood, but there are changes to what trims get what engines. This is the larger 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine, which now comes standard on the Touring trim in addition to the Grand Touring trim. It makes 184 horsepower and 185 pound-feet of torque. The base Sport trim continues to come with the smaller displacement 2-liter i4, which produces 155 horsepower and 150 pound-feet of torque. Regardless of engine and regardless of trim, you can choose between either a 6-speed automatic or a 6-speed manual transmission. For fuel economy, having the upgraded engine does hurt mileage, but not by very much. This engine is rated at 26 city, 35 highway, 30 combined with the automatic, and 25 city, 33 highway, 28 combined with the manual. Gone this year is the optional IE loop package that further increased mileage. For the base engine, it's rated at 31 combined for both transmissions. That does it for the powertrains, so let's go ahead and move on to the exterior design and features. For the outside, there are no major changes, just a rearrangement of equipment. Up front, every 3 gets this U-shaped grille, which is black on the inside and has chrome trim on the outside. That chrome leads up into the headlights, which on our Grand Touring model are these premium-looking full LED ones with auto leveling. The other trims have halogen headlights and lose the BMW-like circular daytime running lights. Down below you'll find the turn signal and LED fog lights on the GT only. Just like most Mazdas, you get the upgraded wheels on the Touring and above. So that means that both it and the Grand Touring get these 8-inch alloy wheels with a dark silver finish. The base Sport gets 16-inch wheels, but they are still alloys which a lot of rivals skimp on for the base model. For the brakes, they are 11.6-inch ventilated disc in the front and 10.4-inch solid disc in the rear. The tires are all seasons. Heading to the mirrors, they are power adjusting across the range, but only heated with turn signals on the Touring and above. Touring and above also get blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic alert. Now backing up is where you start to notice the differences from the sedan. Besides the obvious fact that it's a hatchback, it's also 5 inches shorter than the sedan at 175.6 inches. However, that does still make it 5 inches longer than the Corolla IM, and about the same size as the Civic hatchback. On the safety front, Mazda has added smart city emergency braking across the board. They also offer auto high beam headlights, lane keep assist, and radar cruise control as part of the optional premium equipment package on Grand Touring. Last year, those features were in their own separate $1,100 package. And one more thing to note, these safety features work with both the automatic and manual transmissions. The fuel capacity of the three is 13.2 gallons. This gets it a range of 396 miles as equipped, falling to 369 with the manual. Both models with the lower engine get 409 miles of range. The back of the 3 hatchback is fairly aggressive and athletic looking. The main thing that's changed back here is that the LED taillights are now standard on Grand Touring. Regardless, even the lower trims have the same kind of design. And down at the bottom, Mazda includes 2 really nice looking chrome exhausts, which is much better than rivals, which often hide their exhaust. Well, I think that pretty much sums up the outside, so now let's move on to the interior. First looking inside, the basic design is the same as most other Mazdas. On this top-end Grand Touring, you can pick between either black or parchment leather, and going down one level to Touring limits you to only black leatherette. The Sport trim comes with black or sand-colored cloth seating. Coming to the door trim, it looks and feels luxurious, with leather padding all through here and soft touch plastic on the top. Only the driver's window is automatic up and down. The seat on the Touring and Grand Touring is 6-way power adjusting, and 6-way manual for the Sport. You are missing power lumbar. The leather on this Grand Touring is quite nice, and the bolsters are bigger than most rivals. First looking around, the interior has an upscale vibe, and the material choices also support that. Everything but this hood is soft touch plastic, with a nice graining. You also have some silver trim through the center. Everything fits together very solidly, and pieces like this leather trim wouldn't be out of place in something much more expensive. Just press the standard button to start. All models will receive this BMW-like 7-inch screen standard. The gauges have a kind of motorcycle look to them, with a center-mounted tach. There is no screen, but on this Grand Touring, we get a color heads-up display instead. Even though this isn't the kind that actually projects onto the windshield, it's still pretty cool, especially for this class. The steering is electric power assisted rack and pinion. And the steering wheel itself is very nice and leather wrapped on Touring and up. On the left you have the standard affair of audio and phone controls. And on this side you have the adaptive cruise control. Rain sensing wipers are actually standard on Touring and above, and we have nice paddle shifters. The wheel itself does manually tilt and telescope. Moving on to storage, the 3 has pretty much the expected amount. The center bin has a removable tray, and the console itself is pretty deep, if not wide. You also have some connections in here. This sliding area is just for the cup holders. But up front you do have another blank area with some USB ports. You can manually control the automatic here, or use the paddles. When you shift into reverse, a standard backup camera will pop up. It has reasonably good resolution, but no trajectory. Back behind the shifter, you also have an electronic parking brake. And next to that, you have the controller knob to keep fingerprints off the screen. Now let's go ahead and listen to the 9-speaker Bose sound system. It sounds pretty good. Moving on up to the climate, the Touring and above get this dual zone automatic setup. All the controls are down here and everything is well labeled, so it's overall very easy to use. You will also find 3-stage heated seats on the Touring and Grand Touring, but the heated steering wheel is only with the premium equipment package. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Mazda Connect infotainment system. This is a very simple system to use since everything falls under 5 categories. Starting with communication, this is where you'll find all of your contacts automatically synced over from your smartphone. Next, in entertainment, you can control the audio, which is the standard Bluetooth right now. And here are all the other sources you can choose between. On Grand Touring, you do get standard navigation, but it appears the SIM hasn't been installed on ours. Applications include several useful apps, but Android Auto and Apple CarPlay aren't one of them. Mazda says they may add these later as an update. That's all I'm going to look at right now, but if you want to see a detailed tutorial, then check out our dedicated tech help video. A link is provided in the description. This auto-dimming rearview mirror with home link is included in the premium equipment group on GT. This moonroof is only standard on Grand Touring, but it can be optioned onto the Touring. It does have a nice wind buffer. So the cabin of the Mazda 3 has a premium feel to it like most recent Mazdas. This class can tend to feel downright cheap, but this wouldn't seem out of place in something a class above. Overall, well executed. Now let's check out all the rest. So the Mazda 3 has 35.8 inches of legroom and 37.5 inches of headroom, both right in line with rivals like the Honda Civic hatchback. The door trim mostly follows through from the front, with leather on the armrest, but hard-touch plastic on the top part. So as you can see, the 35.8 inches of legroom translates to plenty of space for someone of modest size like myself. The front seat is adjusted to my 5'8" height. You get a rear armrest with 2 cup holders. There is a mat pocket. The headliner is fairly soft. And here's the assist grip. Overall, it's comfortable back here, but it could use some amenities. The seats do fold, and you just press this button to do so. In the back of the 3 hatchback, you'll find 20.2 cubic feet of cargo capacity, and that's compared to only 12.3 cubic feet in the sedan version. The Honda Civic hatchback, for reference, has 5 more cubic feet. And here's what it looks like with the seats folded. On the passenger side, the seat is manually adjusting. The glove box is nicely dampened and surprisingly large. Well guys, we hope you enjoyed our in-depth look at the 2018 Mazda 3 5-door hatchback. Pricing info is coming up next, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more detailed automotive reviews. Come along with us again as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.